Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a circuit that demands absolute precision, bravery, and just a little bit of luck. Tonight I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, and it's green here at the Miami Autodromo Internazionale. Side by side, there goes Sean Stam, the Stam Man, and the 000 as well.
Papa Green made up 3 positions in 2 laps. With Leslie Simpkins now throws his elbows out at Druid.
Welcome to Silverstone, one of the most iconic racing circuits in the world. And tonight, the stage for round 3 of the Sausage Dodgers Endurance Racing Championship kicks off. This is a circuit built on speed, commitment, and precision. From the flat-out bravery of cops to the flowing rhythm of Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel, every lap demands confidence from the drivers and discipline from the teams. Tonight, the GTP machines bring the outright speed, slicing through traffic and fighting for every second, while the GT3 field battles door to door in one of the toughest multi-class environments on the calendar. Managing traffic, protecting the tires, and executing the strategy will be just as important as raw pace. Round 3 is here. The pressure is rising. The championship picture is starting to take shape. And Silverstone is ready to test every driver on the grid. Settle in. Sausage Dodgers Endurance Racing is live from Silverstone. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be your host, as always, on behalf of the SPR Services Endurance Tour presented by Sausage Dodgers Racing. I'm Sagar Bakshi, taking you from green to checkered flag here at Silverstone. Keys to the race tonight: managing the high-speed aero sections. Silverstone rewards commitment through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel, but GTP drivers need confidence in dirty air. Traffic management will definitely decide the race tonight, so will tire life over outright pace. Strategy and pit execution will pay dividends for the drivers out here tonight. Speaking of, want to give a thanks and shout out to SPR Services tonight for servicing mock prep diagnostics, tires, breakdown, and recovery. Reach out to SPR Services for all of your needs. Thank you very much to SPR Services for their title sponsorship of tonight's race. If you're interested in joining the Sausage Dodgers community, if you want to get involved in the racing action, look no further than scanning that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. If you want to support the Sausage Dodgers as well, scan that QR code and you'll go directly to our PayPal. With all that out of the way, let's take a look at the championship standings, the points before the weekend kickoff here at Silverstone. Mark Richards nearly tied with Kenny by just 3 points. Oscar Corbett just a point back in the podium battle. Tim Williams in 4th, Daniel Moffat in 5th, Roberts 4 in 6th, Benice Menzaros, and then we have a few others rounding out with 0 points. Over to the GT3 category, it'll be Noah Osbaldeston leading Zach Sweeney, Lewis Butler, Julian Colbert, James Piper, Zoltan Arts, Ivan Trubetska, Matthew Clark, Pier Paolo Aletto, Simran Gill, Simone Tigas, Emmanuel Barcella, Josiah Anise, Paul Cook, Minorino Clark, Simon Darsh, Benito Deviso, and Scott Cameron with 0 points to their names so far. And as we get ready to review the results here, we stand by for the beautiful Helicam here. Track cams brought to you by AK Esports. Thank you so much for their support here for the Sausage Dodgers community. Taking a look at the results. Taking a look at the results, it was Osbaldeston in the GT3 in front of Butler by a 10th. Zach Sweeney, Zoltan Art, Simran Gill, Simone Tigas, Neil Thompson, Paul Cook, Pier Paolo Aletto, Lloyd Butler, Clark round out the top 11. Over to the GTP category, it was Ed Odsmer, Leslie Simpkins, Daniel Moffat, Andrew Kenny, Oscar Corbett, Mark Richards, Tim Williams, and then Roberts 4. Taking a look at the grid as well, it's going to be Odsmer, Leslie Simpkins, Daniel Moffat, then Kenny, Oscar Corbett, Mark Richards, Tim Williams, Roberts Vore. Noah Osbaldeston and Lewis Butler line the first row for the GT3s. Then Zach Sweeney, Zoltan Art, Simran Gill, Simone Tigas, Neil Thompson, Paul Cook, Pier Paolo Aletto, Lloyd Butler, Matthew Clark, Simon Darsh, Benedito Deviso, Andrew Kesserton. Further back, Matthew Clark, Simon Darsh, Benedito Deviso, Andrew Kesserton, Nick Ewers, James Piper, Simon Music, and Josiah Anise, and Mark Nixon. Green is the flag color, and Edge Osmore has taken off like a rocket ship and leaves the rest of the GTPs in the dust by 3 seconds. I wasn't even sure about the green flag condition there, but right now it's gonna be a leapfrog start for the newcomer here in the number 99. Daniel Moffat's having his change sprung out of his pockets right now as Andrew Kenny shakes things up with Moffat, who's in a beautiful livery tonight. Take a look at the Mosar Motors car. The number 10 looks pretty steady out there tonight. Take a look at the GT3 field. The pack battles are just as hectic here as Zoltan Arts dukes it out with Simone Tigas and Noah Osbaldeston. Zach Sweeney appearingly stays out of the way from the cars around him, but he is black flag right now, meaning that he will have a penalty to serve coming down pit lane. So not the way that Zach Sweeney intended to run his race right now. And Jaxter says P1 for GTP jumped the green light, I think. And I think you're absolutely right about that. We'll definitely have to have that start under review as we look forward to the results. Right now, it'll stay provisionally as they are. There's a big move from the Audi of Zoltan on Noah Osbaldeston. A little bump there coming through Stowe into Vale and now through Club. A cut there from Osbaldeston is going to send him wide and off the track. There's the gap there from Zach Sweeney to the battle that we're looking at now. It will be Zoltan Arts going down into P6. We want to check out this one up here, this three-way squabble, including Noah Osbaldeston with the number 1 on his shoulder. The number 23 of Simone Tigas, El Tigo, definitely wants a number 1 on his number plate this time next season. Battles settling down as we have plenty of time left to go. 1 hour and 40 minutes on the clock definitely means that the drivers have more time than not to settle in as we go on board with Paul Rocky Cook. Looking pretty good on the telemetry right now as far as fuel is concerned. He's sitting right behind the heavy point hitter Zoltan Arts, so as long as he can stay in touch with Zoltan, this is a really good place to be in. Paul Rocky Cook doing a good job of staying within that striking distance, but he does have Thompson right behind him to consider as well. So any attack going forward could definitely open the door to the Mercedes driver behind that also wants to get through on a couple of cars. Zach Sweeney comes down pit road to serve that black flag penalty. That'll give the lead over to Noah Osbaldeston now. Now, coming out of entry, this is going to be the run for Paul Rocky Cook. Sweeney in the pits as well. Zach Sweeney with a black flag serving that penalty right now. James Piper getting their meatball flag taken care of. Checking in here with Matthew Clark, the UK driver, number 50, as he chases down the Racing Point up ahead. The McLaren, number 90, is under threat right now. And then there's Simon Darsh, the number 44, who's up 4 positions on the good this evening. Simon Darsh is definitely one of the drivers we need to look out for on this race. He's can be consistent at times when the rhythm and rhyme presents itself, and when he gets locked in, he's definitely a top 10 driver. Locked in right now, he is to 8th position, but keeping him company, Pier Paolo Leto, that Racing Point driver, looks to the inside at Stowe and presents himself, but the 44 is not phased by the blunted attack. Keeps on driving forward. Now down into the club. The McLaren still sticks his nose, and there's a sausage spun around. That might be Paul Rocky Cook, and it is Paul Rocky Cook, unfortunately, spun around there. Let's get a replay of SPR services of what happened here. Looking at Paul Rocky Cook now. Oh, and he was touched, and the 74 is going to go round. One driver that we don't talk about too often is Josiah Anise, driver from the UK in the number 7 right now. Gained a few positions slow but steadily over the last 4 laps, and will continue to do so slow but steady. Currently running in 19th position overall. Right now 11th for the category. Number 7 is clean and green running. As Simon Music and Paul Cook ahead. That's going to be a train of AMGs and one other Porsche. Will the Porsche be on the attack? That'll be Simon Music looking to the inside here. Doesn't seem to let off the throttle. Chucks it in at Stowe. Look at the stamp and ascend for Simon Music. The Czech driver gets through. Pierpaolo Leto having a little bit of a moment there as he's off the race track. Pierpaolo Leto still up 1 position from where they started this battle. Paul Rocky Cook chases in the AMG, not too far behind from that mistake made by the number 90. Nick Ewers in a bit of a battle now has Simon Darsh up ahead, the number 44, and they're going to duke it out wheel to wheel, blow for blow, coming through what looks like the loop and entry now. The 55 of Nick Ewers has been involved in some incidences, and so has the 44. It didn't go the way of Simon Darsh earlier on. Like you might have given him the commentator's curse there, unfortunately. Just as they say nice things about someone, it all turns upside down. Again, big shout out and thanks to everybody that supports the Sausage Dodgers community, whether you're watching live now or in the future. I want to give you guys a big shout out and thank you very much to everybody in our Patreon as well. We have so many Patreon subscribers. We can always use more though. On the meat wall and in the tier 3, we have Jack Jackson, Craig Starkey, Andrew Kesterton, Simon Hutchings, and Paul Rocky Cook. Side by side down the back stretch, it'll be for position between the 55 and the 44, and a little pinch there down to the apron, and it'll be the 55 getting the advantage over Darsh. Looking at Simon Music as he chases down Paul Rocky Cook. The chase is on between Paul Cook and Simon Music. No stops yet, but Simon has been faster, losing nearly a quarter of a tenth per lap. Here comes a mounted attack from behind, or is it going to be on? Let's take a look up ahead as the LB Racing badge. That'll be Lloyd Butler. Dukes it out right now with Matthew Clark. Clark behind in the Porsche. It'll be Lloyd Butler up ahead. 50 of Matthew Clark expressing a little bit of patience right now, a little peek to the inside line, but doesn't want to act on it. Sees that Pier Paolo Aletto has been cashing as well. Pier Paolo Aletto is definitely there, but here's another battle right now. This is going to be the Music Paul Cook battle. Inside line for the 10th place car of the number 46, Simon Music, fighting the line at the loop out of entry. Who has the better run of things? It might be, oh, flashy of the headlights. Paul Rocky Cook not too content with the overtake that was made. Josiah Anise had the best look at that overtake. And now here's the 369 of Lloyd Butler. Comfortably sitting in the top 10, Lloyd is right now. One of my favorites out on the racetrack this evening. Always a good character to have in the chat. I'm sad to lose him as a chatter, but happy to see him on the grid. Lloyd, welcome to the Sausage Dodgers community. I'm glad to see you on the racetrack performing well right now. Gain of around 3 positions so far. Pier Paolo Aletto, though, is trying to change some of that good fortune up. Pier Paolo is up 1, but was involved in that earlier spin of his own. So he tumbled down the order and unfolded all of his gains. Roberts 4 duking it out in traffic with Mark Richards. Up ahead, we all know the saying, the phrase, traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. What will happen here and now at Silverstone when traffic doesn't go your way? Tim Williams about a second back from this battle on screen as we take a look at the head-to-head battle. Roberts 4 a little bit better through the traffic than Mark Richards has been, gaining about a second on that last lap. Andrew Kenny and Leslie Simpkins now are also nose to tail, and their pace, well, equally matched as they dice it up through the traffic. on board with Andrew Kenny late on the brakes as he goes for a move on to Leslie Simpkins. The number 33 was an unsuspecting victim there, but it looks like he had his head on a swivel and was able to take avoiding action. Andrew Kenny loses a little bit of ground in that action. Now loses more ground through the traffic, trying to close down through the next pair of corners, but it is to no avail. Village, the loop, entry, so tight and technical. Looks like the battle between Pier Paolo Aletto and Lloyd Butler finally settled down, as Aletto is ahead of Lloyd at this point in time. You can see the gap now opening up between Kenny and Simpkins as he loses ground here. He'll take about 9 laps at this pace to catch up to Leslie. We know that the traffic is really going to play the deciding factor here. Over to the traffic battle here between Matthew Clark and Neil Thompson. Driver the number 4 under threat from Clark right now. Clark pokes a nose in here at Brooklands. I don't think the move was on. Now through Luffield. Looks for an open door to the inside line, but can't really get there. Traffic behind coming through Woodcott. It's going to compromise Clark's exit just a hair, and then through Cops. We all know you never stick a wheel up the inside at Cops, would you? Mr. Josiah Anise right now. Trying to get moves done, has Lloyd Butler to contend with. The number 7 duking out with Paul Rocky Cook. This 3-6-9 might definitely have to duke it out for the top 10 now. Looks to the inside line, but it will be a fellow AMG that gets by. It'll be Josiah Anise through and through. Mark Nixon comes down pit lane for, I believe that will be an unscheduled stop. Here's the music debacle. Now he is caught up to Matthew Clark. Neil Thompson up ahead with some front bonnet damage. It's definitely going to be a cork in the bottle. 3 wide coming down the Wellington straight, because why not? Heavy on the brakes into the braking zone. Porsche on Porsche violence as the 50 goes wheel to wheel with his brother in the number 46, excuse me. 46 to the outside here and now, trying to hold his bated breath to get through, but they're going to continue the bout through Abbey. This is going to be a little sketchy, but we're going to make it happen. This is Sausage Dodgers Racing as a music and Clark continue this bout in through Maggots, in through Beckett's, Chapel. It'll be continued dueling. All this brings Pierpaolo Oletto into the front also, who's trying to garnish some gains here tonight. Quick downshifts down to third for Matthew Clark. Checking in now here, Matthew Clark duking it out with that Neil Thompson car, the number 4 up ahead. There goes Thompson trying to show his nose on Simon Music, but to no avail. The battle back here continues on. Matthew Clark in a bit of a sandwich right now between all the other cars, and under threat from behind while attacking forward is definitely one of the biggest challenges a driver can have. Who can definitely attack and secure a position while also defending at the same time? Well, hopefully that guy is Matthew Clark, because he's about to be tested coming out of Chapel, excuse me, and down the hangar straight in towards Stowe. The Mercedes-Benz is under threat as the Porsche looked for an open door. That will challenge Neil Thompson coming out of Stowe down through Vale. The Porsche's a nose ahead, gives the pinch and closes the gap there. It will be the Porsche of Matthew Clark now up into 6th position. Pierpaolo Oletto, the next driver on the mark, trying to take advantage of the situation. Open door presents itself. The 90 wants to go there coming out of Village. It'll be nice for the number 90 of Pierpaolo Oletto. Nice and tight for Pierpaolo Oletto. Thompson behind, wondering what could have been for sure. Lloyd Butler further back. Number 369 down in 11th position right now. We're up ahead to Paul Rocky Cook. Paul Rocky Cook catching at a rate of 0.7 per lap on average. Should be able to catch up to Thompson here. His lap times last time around gained around 0.3. Still improving there. Take a look at Josiah Anise. They've already caught up to Paul Rocky Cook. Trying to mount that attack. We know catching is one thing, passing is a whole nother ball game. So can we see Josiah Anise make a move on Paul Cook, the big heavy hitter for the Sausage Dodgers? Speaking of heavy hitters, Andrew Kenny and Leslie Simpkins continue their bout here as traffic got involved for a few laps again. It challenges the composure of both drivers. And a let by there. Andrew Kenny unleashed from Leslie Simpkins by the looks of it. Robert Svor chases down the car ahead. That'll be Tim Williams up ahead. Checking in the background, Benedetto De Viso. Or excuse me, Benedetto De Viso chases down Nick Ewers. Started the race in 15th, running in 15th place right now. And Benedetto, the number 16, presents himself to the inside line a long way back here at Stowe. And it'll be AMG on Porsche Violence as they express their blows for blow. Late on the brakes goes Ewers as he defends the inside line coming into club. And Daniel Moffat unfortunately has to sit back and wait for his opportunity to cut through the traffic. Ewers and DeViso. Coming out of Brooklands and through Luffield, now Woodcott. Ewers is not done with this argument yet and will do everything he can to stay within striking distance of Benedetto De Viso. Up ahead, Andrew Kenny is caught up with some traffic. I think that's Lloyd Butler. Yes, that is Lloyd. Kenny gets through. Now Simpkins has an opportunity to get through on Andrew Kenny. Paul's in single file line coming through Abbey and Farm. Single file operation. Despite Kenny being about a second a lap slower that last time by. Andrew Kenny has a nearly insurmountable 5-second gap he has to close down on Ozdemir. And Ozdemir definitely has been swinging for the fences tonight, putting in lap times that are pretty phenomenal. Taking a look at the best laps, though, it'll be Andrew Kenny with the best lap of the race of 147.899. Gap opens up there between Simpkins and Kenny. Gap closes, though, between Simone Tigas and Zoltan Arts. Between Tigas and Zoltan Arts, it's wheel to wheel, nearly nothing between them. Zoltan has been catching lap after lap. Now he presents the nose to the inside, but 24 backs out of it at the last second as the door was shutting on him. Simran Gill lurking in the background, waiting for his opportunity to strike, also patiently biding his time here. Tigas leads Zoltan Arts and Simran Gill right now. The trio duking out for P2, 3, and 4. An hour and 10 minutes right. Anybody can pull off anything at this point. Flashy of the headlights as late on the brakes goes the GTP driver. I believe that would be Edge Ozdemir, the Turkish pilot. First of the scheduled pit stops, if I'm not mistaken, Neil Thompson comes down pit road. Simon Darge in the bit of a mix right now. Here comes traffic through at the 000 of Andrew Kenny. Asking in chat, can you say Team Pace Labs Young Star for Edge Ozdemir? For the edit. I will do my best. Here we go. Team Pace Labs Young Star Edge Ozdemir leads the pack right now by a 5.3 second gap going into the 1 hour mark. Here for Sausage Dodgers Racing, the SPR Services Endurance Tour presented by Sausage Dodgers Racing. How was that? Back to the battle here. It'll be Tigas and Zoltan Arts. Still duking it out, and it will go the way of Simran Gill, actually, because Simone Tigas gets a slowdown penalty coming through the racetrack. No problem, sir. Hopefully that helps you out. Zoltan Art Simringil, and then Simone Thigas, or Simon. No, excuse me, that is Simone Thigas. Simon Music. A lot of Sims going on there. Simran Gill, Simone Thigas, Simon Music. Oh boy, am I getting stressed out here with all the Sims. And driving a simulator, of course. Sorry, I'm going to go off on that tangent. Anyways, back to the racing action. No Ospedals leads by healthy 26.6 seconds right now, by the looks of it. Zoltan Arts not catching by any margin right now, so not looking good for Zoltan. He's actually losing 1.5 seconds per lap. Checking in with Danny Moffat. Currently running in 4th position right now. As Oscar Corbett, keep him warm and toasty here in the British Hills. Or Flatlands, I should say, as this was a former World War II Royal Air Force bomber station. And obviously its layout still reflects a triangular shape. Well, we have a slight break in the action. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to all of our Patreon subscribers. Again, Leslie Simpkins, Andrew Kenny, Mark Richards, Jack McCarthy, and Simon Dorsch in that Tier 1 category. In the Tier 2 category, Mickey Phipps, Andrew Kesserton, and Sam Marshall. Oh no, we have a big crash with Mark Richards. Let's see what happened here to Richards. Brought to you by SPR Services. And was this a solo spin for the 420? It looks to be so. He's able to get it spun up in the right direction and go on his own, so no harm, no foul for Richards. But what happened here to Danny Moffat? Coming in under the braking. Everything looks okay until we get to the exit of the loop, and that's why we call it the loop, folks. And this might be the big one between Thigas here. Oh, apologies, I hit the wrong button. I wanted this. We see it from the heli cam. Oh no, and just gets bumped from behind, and that will send Thigas around. I think that was the 46 of Simon Music there. So that's what ended that battle. Leslie Simpkins takes his pit stop now. That'll be the first of the scheduled pit stops. Oh no, that won't be a scheduled pit stop as Leslie Simpkins crashes. Let's see if we can replay of what happened here to Simpkins. Brought to you by SPR Services. The 33 goes off and will collect the barrier. Paul Rocky Cook has Zach Sweeney up ahead right now. And what has happened here? Edge Onsmer loses a ton of ground, or Andrew Kenny has lit the fuse and has caught up. A 5-second gap deficit has come down to nearly nothing in a blink of an eye. Here through traffic is where things get a little sketchy. We dice it off around. Maybe it'll be Benedetto De Viso. Yes, it is the number 16. Swiftly. Oscar GPT asks, are there any rewards for championship winners? You'll have to check SimGrid for that information. But I know for a fact in other championships, such as our special event, we do have a prize pool coming up. Speaking of which, want to give a big shout out and thanks to our title sponsor, SPR Services, for servicing Mott Prep Diagnostics, tires, breakdown, and recovery. Check out SPR Services for all of your needs. For those of you interested, check out our special event coming up on June 13th at 7 p.m. GMT at Silverstone. There is going to be a prize pool available for that event with a 90-minute race with 50% fuel load. Also check out our GT3 SDR Season 1 starting up soon. Come check it out on SimGrid. All of the information can be found by scanning the QR code at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. And more importantly than anything else, we have the Porsche Cup Season 3, sponsored by Barham Engines and presented by Sausage Dodgers Racing, folks. Here's the battle for the lead between Andrew Kenny and Edge Onsmer. Late on the brakes for that 000, chucks it in and gets it parked coming through Club. Edge Onsmer's not done with this conversation though. We're still duking it out. Whoa, there goes Edge Onsmer, bobbing and weaving, trying to find a way by Andrew Kenny, who's driving extremely defensively right now. Neither driver has pit so far. It'll be a battle for position out on track. Andrew Kenny definitely unleashed his potential through the traffic. Both drivers sliding their cars through cops before we get down to Maggots, Beckett, and then Chapel Curve. Gap expands to 9/10 of a second as Edge Oddsmare gets edged out just a little bit right now. Losing about a second per lap as the gap fluctuates at around 1 second. No stop to either driver at this point in time. 99 in the 000. We're gonna have to duke it out right here, right now. Mark Nixon comes down pit road. This will be, I believe, his third time down the lane. If you're interested in supporting the Sausage Daughters community, helping keep the lights on here and keeping our streams going, we really appreciate it. Go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen. It'll send you directly to our PayPal to keep our broadcasts alive, to keep our practice servers going week in and week out. It really goes a long way. Every penny matters. Thank you so much to all of our supporters again, and all the continued support to keep us going. Pit stop call there for Oddsmare. The Turkish driver comes down the pit lane and gets their expected service to run down the rest of the road. Marino Klawaric in the chat. What's up, Marino? As here comes Mofat down pit road. Marino Klawaric jokingly saying, Daniel Mofat doing great because he doesn't need to worry about me tonight. Marino, that was some of the best battling I had seen in a long time. That was great between the two of you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it ended the way it did, but still epic battling. Pit stop becomes alive, or the pit road becomes alive, I should say, as plethora of drivers decide to come down pit lane, get their foreign fuel, and back out on the track. James Piper in the YouTube chat saying, hey, it's me, Piper. Love the streams. Thank you very much, James Piper. Love you, brother. Thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate you as always. Checking out the battle for P2 in the category, Zoltan Arts and Simon Music continue their bout. Number 46 is up 14 positions right now. Slowly and steadily gaining ground. And trying to gain a few more. That'll be overall positions. It's showing currently in P11, but P3 in the category right now. Here comes the 46, switches back to the optimum line on the number 24. Who can do nothing but sit back and wait with a little bit of defense from the 46. Going deep there, coming through left field now. It'll be a slingshot for Simon Music. A little off there. The tiny mistake from Simon Music is all he needed to close down the gap and get ahead, but it'll be a slow down penalty for Zoltan Arts. Plethora of pit stops from the sausages now. Corbett, Williams, Richards all in. Edge Oddsmat into the lead of the race by 6.2 seconds after the pit stop cycle. Amazing undercut there. You can see the pit lane time there is the difference between that gap, a 1:12.1 compared to a 1:21.6. Andrew Kenny definitely didn't get his pit stop pitch perfect. He's going to have to do a lot of work on the battle proving grounds of this airfield. Matthew Clark, Pier Paolo Aledo, and Mr. Tigas El Tigo all in line. This is going to be the battle for P3. El Tigo was involved in that early incident and at the loop with Simon Music pending steward review, obviously. Have to get a good look at that one. Here comes the charge of Matthew Clark in P4. Now the backup begins through Maggots and Beckett. It'll be tricky for them all to get through cleanly, but they managed to do so very well. Matthew Clark comes down pit road for his stop. That'll be the first of the GT3s. Can he make it on 50 minutes of fuel is the question, though. We've seen some others come down the lane, such as Zach Sweeney earlier on. Ooh, or Jackster says, or potentially under fuel. Interesting. Very interesting. On board with Pier Paolo Aledo. As we chase down Thigas up ahead, we run through cops. Aledo being cautious of track limits there. Oh, being cautious of traffic, as even I was unaware of traffic presenting itself through Maggots and now Beckett's. Maggots takes its name from Maggots Moor, an area of land that's actually near the circuit. Its old name that likely dates back to medieval times. The exact origin of the name Maggots isn't entirely clear, but it's believed to be related to a local field or moorland area with this quirky title. And of course, Beckett's Chapel, which was located near the circuit and dedicated to St. Thomas Becket, a significant figure in English history. Thomas Becket was a 12th century archbishop of Canterbury, who was martyred and later canonized as a saint. Checking in with Andrew Kenny, the gap has opened up actually to 10.8 2 seconds. With 47 minutes remaining, I don't know what Kenny can do to catch up. As we analyze the pace, Andrew Kenny seems to be losing 0.7 per lap at this point. Kenny's going to need a lot of help through the traffic to make this one work. Pierpaolo Aledo catching up to Tigas time and time again. And Tigas can mount his defense now. But both drivers decide to come down pit road here at the 46-minute mark. Few in the pits: Eltigo, Aledo, Josiah Anise, Benedetto Deviso, Kesterton, and Mark Nixon on his way out. Mark Nixon running in 25th position, 17th for the class, is behind Simran Gill, but down a few laps on the good of things. Pierpaolo Aledo, Josiah Anise, and Simon Darsh all take their services. Roberts Ford gets black flagged for speeding in the pits. And that'll give the position over to Mark Richards there. Neil Thompson, Simon Darsh, and Nick Ewers all in pit road. Get their service here at the 44-minute mark. SPR Services Endurance Tour Season 5 is filled with a grid of drivers that are well equipped to handle the task at hand. Endurance racing at the 1 hour limit, performing pit stops, and that might be Nick Ewers. Is that, who was that? I couldn't tell. I apologize. Anyways, it's Butler and Sweeney in the pits simultaneously. Let's see who comes out first. It looks like everybody's taking 4 and fuel. Getting back out onto the racetrack. Oh, this will be a fun one to see. See the timeline chart here for Simon Music, who climbed through the order with an overall gain of 15 positions, including through the pit stop phase. Simon Music has been relentless in that number 46 Porsche tonight. Took his refuel in the pit stop cycle, and again climbed back through the order. There goes Osbaldeston into the pits. Back over to Music, who's on the opposite side of the track at this point. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, get notifications for when the sausages go live next, folks. Really appreciate 32.2 second stop for Noah Osbaldeston there. Paul Rocky Cook and Lloyd Butler exchange their positions as Lloyd falls back into P9. Here and now, things have quieted down, but it will most likely be spicing up here in a few moments. Here, just as I say that, we start to see traffic. I think that'll be Mark Nixon that we get through. The 369 chops it up cleanly. Gap between Kenny on Oddsmer is around 9.7 seconds. Slow down penalty for Josiah Anise. That's going to compromise his run for certain. Might not give him enough of a challenge to Paul Rocky Cook, who's 9 seconds back, but still. Osbaldeston leads right now by 40.6 seconds. Michael Phipps in the chat saying, working but watching, go sausages. Thank you very much for being here, Michael. Really appreciate you, man. Edge odds map. doing his best through the traffic, expressing a little bit of patience there with Lloyd Butler. Uncle Lloyd, as we know him. Silverstone is all about confidence here because so much of the lap is built on carrying speed, just as surviving braking zones. The first major race here at Silverstone was held in 1948, the British Grand Prix, staged on the former Royal Airfield Base. And Silverstone hosted the first ever Formula One World Championship on May 13th, 1950. In 1951, BRDC took over the lease and began turning the old airfield course into a more permanent racing venue. Major refurbishments followed over the decades, including the 1991 overhaul and the modern era development of the current GP layout. So what does a driver need for a setup here at Silverstone? Well, since momentum is everything here, losing speed in one corner can hurt all the way through the next sequence. Drivers are going to need a car that is stable in the fast corners, but still responsive enough to handle the technical changes of direction. Exit speed matters just as much as bravery, because Silverstone's flowing nature rewards drivers who keep the car settled, clean on throttle. This is the circuit where a tidy lap is often faster than a driven lap, and Silverstone punishes even small balance mistakes at high rates of speed. Mr. Kesterton catching up to Neil Thompson up ahead. No way around as Thompson catches Kesterton. Damaged Neil Thompson, the look at the stamp, and a send. Thompson defends hard but fair, squarely into the braking zone, coming down in through Club. has taken off. Neil Thompson from Mr. Kesterton unleashed a gap, 2.6 seconds now, and Kesterton is further back than I think he'd like to be, but I believe that would be Simon Music up ahead, our P2 contender. 32 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Anything can and will still happen. No Osbedelston lapping all but Josiah Anise right now, but that's about to change as he catches up to Anise. And here's Kesterton coming down pit road, serve their black flag penalty. Zach Sweeney gets airborne over the sausages. Definitely not avoiding them or dodging them per se. The third place driver has a 6-second gap to Simone Tigas behind. Viewers into pits as well as we go on board with Tigas. Take a listen to this beautiful Ford Mustang. The battles have cooled up, but the track has definitely heated up quite a bit. Temperature is only 19 degrees Celsius, but that's the ambient temperature. Track temperature much higher than that. Partly cloudy skies, 51% humidity tonight. Leslie Simpkins into pit lane. This will be his second stop of the evening. And I wonder if everything's okay for Leslie. And again, someone called out an underfuel issue for Edge Oddsmare. And potentially Leslie has succumbed to the same issue. Now comes out of pit road behind the number 29. And narrowly avoids them. I think that might have been the case, as Simpkins is just almost fat now due to that second pit stop he had to take. Third place not secured by any stretch of the imagination. Daniel Moffat all over the rear wing, but is that gonna compromise him coming through the fast section of Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel? Doesn't seem to be hurting him at all. And there's a black flag penalty for Edge Oddsmare, and that 10-second gap evaporates to nothing, as Edge Oddsmare is gonna have a penalty and come through pit lane. If Andrew Kenny can keep it clean, he's gonna be in the lead of the race with 26 minutes left to go. Andrew Kenny has been catching as he increased his pace. The projection is that he would have caught in 9 laps, but now he'll catch faster than that, because Edge Oddsmare is in the pits. Drive-through penalty for Oddsmare. Off the limiter as soon as he hits the cones, and he's back out onto the racetrack. Ahead of Leslie Simpkins by 40 seconds, but behind Andrew Kenny by 16. Is there anything he can do in the closing 25 minutes of this battle? Speaking of battles, Simone Thigas has Matthew Clark all over him. And Matthew Clark has been doing very well. Matthew Clark up 6 positions tonight. Took the 4 in fuel, got back out onto the racetrack. Once he got up to P5, he's kind of just locked it down at this point in time. .209 for the outlap for Edge Oddsmare. Slowdown penalty for Pier Paolo Aletto as he chases down Matthew Clark, but it's gonna hurt him more than it helps him at this point in time. Clark continues his charge and pace on Thigas up ahead.
Clark continues to stay within striking distance of El Tigo up ahead. When will he mount that attack? Pierpaolo Oletto is about 7 seconds back, so no worry there. As flashy of the headlights as the GTP drivers come through the field. Nose to tail between Thigas and Clark here. And up ahead, that'll be Daniel Moffat, who just cut through them. Thigas narrowly ahead of that 50 of Matthew Clark, who continues his relentless attack in a moment of opportunity as Thigas went slightly wide and opened the door for Matthew Clark to get a better run coming out of entry down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands, but it wasn't good enough of a run this time coming. The run down the Wellington Straight was the way of Thigas, but the run down here towards Stowe looked like it went the way of Matthew Clark. 19 minutes left to go. I want to hear your predictions in the chat. Who do you think's going to come out on top? Who's going to come out best of the rest? Nick Ewers and Danny Moffat come down pit road. Battle here still lies between the 4th and 5th place spot. I don't see Pierpaolo Oletto catching these two. $17:30 remaining on the clock as we head into Maggots and Beckett's. where traffic might get involved in this battle. Oh, and the GTP traffic is through. Matthew Clark really needs to use traffic to his advantage to get by El Tigo. But catching traffic at the opportune moment has proved to be difficult for the driver. Just saw the GTP cut through the field relatively easily, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. There's so much more downforce than the GT3 drivers have. Little deep there from Tigas, but no harm, no foul. As Clark closes down his margin of error. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away, catching it at an inopportune time, coming through cops. Losing a little bit of ground is Clark right now. Again, the traffic playing a big part. Corbett, the Sausage Dodger 998, gets around. And this might be the opportunity that he needed. A little bit of a challenge there for the number 23. And now this is going to open up the door. A little dodge left, a little dodge right from Thigas up ahead. And Clark tries to find a way through, but to no avail. Side by side is the opportunity going to present itself at Maggots and Beckett's. This is where things get a little bit spicy between Clark and Thigas. Here's the chase between Clark. It'll be another pit stop for Andrew Kesterton, who couldn't make it the additional 9 minutes now. Edge Osmer with another black flag penalty, and that's going to send him further down the order than he'd like to be. And I guess we don't have to worry about reviewing that race start anymore. Now Edge has done it to himself. Again, traffic giving and traffic taking away. That's got by Neil Thomas with relative ease, and it doesn't disturb the action on track. 50 attacks. Number 23 up ahead. Clark chasing down Thigas now. The battle for the lead in the GTP has definitely settled down as Andrew Kenny has unleashed his potential. Degas and Matthew Clark in their battle. Matthew Clark continues to be the faster of the duo, but can't seem to find a way by. Blockade up ahead. Oddsmer comes down pit road, get their service, or serve their penalty, I should say. It's definitely not the way we wanted to see the battle for P1 end at the end of the night. Oddsmer now battles with Tim Williams, who sits on the podium. Oddsmer's going to have a little bit colder tires as we approach the final 5 of this race. Again, thank you very much to our title sponsor for tonight's event, SPR Services. For all your servicing, mock prep, diagnostics, tires, breakdown, and recovery, make sure you reach out to SPR Services. If you want to get involved in the Sausage Dodger Racing, look no further than scanning this QR code in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Go directly to Sausage Dodgers Action. Coming up next, we have our special event on June 13th, Silverstone Circuit. We'll have a 90-minute race with 50% fuel. If you've raced here, you've raced before. With us, you can sign up for this special event. And again, thank you to our title sponsor, SPR Services, for their title sponsorship of the Sausage Dodgers Endurance Tour Season 5. Now looks like Edge Oddsmere is out of the race, unfortunately. Down and out for the count. The driver was doing so well for so long until it all unfolded on him, unfortunately. Matt Clark still locked in his battle right now. This time it's with Josiah Anise as Pier Paolo Aletto. What happened to El Tigo? El Tigo entered pit lane. No. Presumably running out of fuel there at the end. And actually, Edge Oddsmere ended up crashing. Let's take a look at what happened here to the number 99 behind Tim Williams in the 797. Looks like he just got a tank slapper, spun out like a Beyblade, and that's what ended the 99's race, unfortunately. Surprise, surprise, Andrew Kenny also comes down pit road for a pit stop with a minute and 30 seconds left to go in this race. Can he still maintain the gap and the lead to Leslie Simpkins? Andrew Kenny is on his way out, but where is Leslie on the racetrack? Coming around through, it looks like Stowe now a long way back, too far to make anything happen. 1 minute left to go. This should be the white flag lap for Andrew Kenny. Battle still rages on between Josiah Anise and Matthew Clark for P5. Oscar Corbett and Mark Richards for P5 there as well. Daniel Moffat might find his way onto the podium tonight. And P3 looks pretty, if you ask me. The traffic there as the 13th place car of, I believe that'll be Andrew Kesserton, yields out of the way. Andrew Kenny has done a great job this race. He hasn't led us from green to checkered flag. That belonged to Edge Oddsmare tonight. Thigas is out. Zoltan is out. But it will be the checkered flag flying for Andrew Kenny, as he's got one more lap to complete by the looks of it. Oh no! Andrew Kenny spun, but he's still okay. Leslie Simpkins crosses the line. P2 for him, but I don't think the race is over yet, as I haven't seen the white or the checkered flag come out on my overlay. As I was saying, Andrew Kenny hasn't led us from green to checkered flag, has put up a hell of a battle with Edge Oddsmare tonight. Leslie Simpkins as well putting up a fight, but also playing the team game in the grand scheme of things. Andrew Kenny coming through the twisty bits of Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel Curve. Oscar Corbett in the pits, needs to do an extra lap, doesn't have enough fuel. There it is, the white flag officially out from Barney the Flagman. This will be it. The checkered flag flies for the 000, and he's there to accept it. Andrew Kenny takes the victory for the GTB category for the SPR Services Endurance Tour Season 5. Round 3 at Silverstone. Leslie Simpkins will claim P2 tonight with a hard-fought battle. And Daniel Moffat with a resounding third place here tonight after some trials and tribulations out on the racetrack.
Tim Williams in 4th place tonight. Oscar Corbin in 5th. Mark Richards in 6th. Roberts 4 and 7th. And Edge Oddsbear in 8th. For the GT3 category, it will be Noah Osbaldeston getting the win. Simon Music in 2nd. Zach Sweeney in 3rd. Pier Paolo Aletto in 4th. Matthew Clark in 5th. Josiah Anise in 6th. Paul Cook. Lloyd Butler, Simon Darsh, Benedito Deviso, Neil Thompson, Nick Ewers, Andrew Keston, Tigas, and Zoltan Arts rounding out top 15. Osbaldeston celebrates his victory here at a home circuit. And he enjoys the victory tonight. Noah Osbaldeston took the win, and we have Andrew Kenny in the GTP category as well in that win. To celebrate, we have the drivers coming in for an interview in just a few moments. We'll have them loaded and ready to go. Want to take this time to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag here tonight. On behalf of the Sausage Dodgers community, it is an absolute pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag week after week. Time after time, it is a great honor to be here with you all. Let's take a look and talk to our race winners then. I think they're all loaded up and ready to go here tonight. We've got a couple of drivers to talk to now. Andrew Kenny, who took the win tonight. Talk to us about your race, Andrew.
How are we doing, Saga, my friend? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Living the dream. Couldn't be better here watching you guys go after it tonight.
Oh, it was a good race tonight. I put a bit of practice in. After a disastrous race last week, it feels good to be back on P1, you know. I felt that maybe the guy that started in pole position jumped the start, so I was just patient, took my time, and I didn't push it too hard, and waited till the pit stop, changed tyres, and then just continued the race. I thought it was very easy to overcook the tyres, so like I said, I was very patient and just took it one lap at a time.
Yeah, at one point during the race as well, it was looking like there was a 10-second gap between you and the race leader. It was pretty close, to say the least, between you and Edge Oddsbear, but you're able to close down that gap pretty steadfast. That was very impressive there, Andrew.
Yeah, I think that other guy, it maybe pushed it too hard and, you know, used the best of his tyres too soon. So I didn't go like flat out pace. I just went like nice and steady.
Nice job, Andrew. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the GTP win tonight?
I just like to say, we won the Norwich Life for 24 split 3 the other week, and big shout out to the PLM winners. Feels good to be back on podium. Like I say, I've only been driving these cars 4 months. I suppose I'm taking a bit of advantage of a small field, and some of the stronger drivers have gone to GT3s. But yeah, it's been good.
Right on, Andrew. Thank you so much. Have a great night, brother.
Take it easy, my friend.
Speaking of those GT3 drivers, we have Noah Osbaldeston with us, the winner tonight, who led by almost an entire lap over Simon Music. Now, Noah, how does it feel to be on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Fortunately, missed the last round due to some sort of logistic complications, but yeah, it's fantastic to be back in SDR and back on the top step of the podium. Yeah, just sort of the race developed from the start, really. I mean, it was a very clumsy first 3 or 4 laps. Drivers just being way too aggressive and sort of pushing each other off, and it was just yeah, it was a bit silly, really. So yeah, sort of tried to get through the first few laps, and then once on lap 3, I had the gap started pulling away. And again, huge thanks to Nova Motors Esports for the setups. Again, once again, without them, I would nowhere be at the front. I didn't have a lot of prep, so yeah, without the setups they produce and their engineers and whatnot, and all the good stuff they do for me, I would not be on the top step. So this one goes out to them, and yeah, it's just overall well done to Zach Sweeney as well, my teammate from Drive Lounge. He did fantastic to recover from a black flag early on. So yeah, he did amazing to get back into P3. But yeah, overall it was a really good performance.
Thank you very much, Noah. Really appreciate you. Have a great night, my friend.
Cool, thank you.
Next up, we have Simone Music. Now, Simone, you definitely had to challenge pretty much the entire field tonight, up 15 positions on the good this evening. How'd you do it driving that Porsche to victory lane?
Yeah, it was really hard, going from last, and I feel like I was too aggressive, just committing a bit of terrorism, to be honest. So I'm sorry to I'm sorry to everyone that I didn't take out anyone. So that is a good thing. But I spun on a third lap as well out of stove. Just went sideways, caught it, lost another 3 positions I gained on the first 2 laps. So I had to gain that again. The tires were dead the first stint, like the other half of the first stint. So I had to manage like a really bad tire wear. And yeah, the second stint was much more lonelier, just keeping up the pace. And as X catching me at the end, I was just losing focus and could not. I was just happy for the race to end. It was really long, and I did a mistake on the final lap as well, out of stove, almost spun it again, but I caught it, and even without off track. So yeah, I'm very pleased with my performance today, and it's a really nice podium after my wheel decided to blow up and I couldn't race for 3 weeks or so. So yeah, very happy with that podium.
Congratulations on getting P2 tonight. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thanks to SDR for hosting these races. They're really fun, and it just gets fun by every season more and more. That's for all from me.
Thank you very much, Simone. Appreciate you. Have a great night, my friend.
Have a great night as well, mate.
Last but not least, we have Zach Sweeney. Zach Sweeney, who had that black flag to start off the race, knew he was down and out, but didn't give up. Climbed back up into P3. Zach, talk to us about your race and your mental fortitude to climb back up as well.
Yeah, how's it going? Suboptimal about the back flag, really. Lit up the rears, trying to get them up to temperature on the short formation lap. Tried to get myself back into position and just assumed that the black flag would be cleared because I was back in position with plenty of time, but evidently not. So gave myself a little bit of a tougher race than it should have been, to be honest, but sort of got my head down and cracked on with it. I knew it was going to be an easy one stop in the Merc. We have the advantage in terms of the fuel capacity, so was able comfortably to push from the get-go. We're struggling for rear grip for the best part of the race as well, so wasn't feeling 100% confident in the car. Didn't have a lot of time to test or set up the car or anything like that. A lot of my time is spent coaching Josiah, who's our junior driver, so not a lot of time to prep myself, but just kept my head down and carved my way back through the field. They some of them were caught up in their own battles, which allowed me to catch back up, and then a couple of times there was a few sketchy moments with some GTPs as well, cutting it quite close, and also some of the speed differentials with some of the guys at the back end of GT3. So had to have my wits about me, had to stay awake for the hour and 45 that we had in the car, but going into the second stint, just kept my head down. I knew I was on the podium then, so I was very, very content with that, and I know each position is only worth a point, so I wasn't going to throw away a lot of points for the sake of only gaining one by catching by catching Simon in second position. But the gap was coming down, and that was my focus. Also trying to have a bit of fun with Noah as well, who we were trying to trade the fastest lap attempt, but I think he just has a bit more rear grip than I did, so he was able to bring that one home. But the pace was really good, the consistency was amazing, and yeah, despite the suboptimal start, really sort of pleased to have brought it home for a podium.
Awesome. Thank you so much for letting us know and giving us the insight there, Zach. Now, anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the podium tonight?
Yeah, Driveland Racing, of course, for all of the help, the support, and Noah as well. He's been a huge addition to the team. I think the team chemistry that we've got is amazing. Josiah as well, our junior driver, he smashed it today, P7, and probably one of his best showings in a race this tight and this tough in terms of the attrition. So yeah, super proud of both the boys. Congrats to Noah on the win as well, and cheers to him for all the coaching, the setup help, and to Driveland Racing as well.
Thank you so much, Zach. Really appreciate it. Have a great night, my friend.
Cheers, mate. See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag, but all good things need to come to an end, and so shall this, unfortunately. If you're interested in joining Sausage Dodgers Racing, check out the QR code on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. If you want to support the Sausage Dodgers, scan the QR code in the middle of your screen. It'll take you straight to our PayPal. Coming up soon to a server near you will be the Porsche Cup Season 3, sponsored by Barham Engines, classic and competition engine work rebuilding services at your disposal. Presented by Sausage Dodgers Racing. We also have 2 GT3 seasons coming up soon. Season 1 kicking off a server near you. Come check us out on the SimGrid. About our special event coming up as well, June 13th, 7 p.m. GMT, Silverstone Circuit, with a prize pool available, 90 minutes of racing with the 50% fuel loads in the GT3 category. And of course, tonight's title sponsor, SPR Services, for servicing, lot prep, diagnostic, tires, breakdown, and recovery. Contact SPR Services. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. Have a great night. And as always, stay safe out there.